Hey, this is Mrs. Gervasio. Let's not waste any time and get right to Thursday's homework. Okay, be sure to watch and re-watch the tutorial, pause for the practice problems, and of course come back and check and see how you did. Complete the homework at the end of the tutorial, and of course show all of your work.
How do you find the different lines of symmetry on this geometric figure? In this lesson, you will learn how to identify line symmetry in a geometric figure by folding the figure into matching parts. Let's review. When trying to recognize where the line of symmetry is located, we need to remember that there are three types of lines that we can use to determine how many lines of symmetry a figure can have. So we have here horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. Now, a common misunderstanding that we sometimes face is that at times when we're told to find the line of symmetry, the line is placed anywhere on the figure. What's important to remember is that when the figure is folded, there has to be matching parts. Otherwise, the line is not the line of symmetry. All right, so in this lesson, we're going to examine a geometric figure that has multiple parts. So we're going to determine the line of symmetry in this figure using what we know about line symmetry and other two-dimensional figures. If we notice, this figure is created using a hexagon and triangles. So in order to determine whether this complete geometric figure has a line of symmetry, we need to go through the three types of lines that we can use. So we're going to start with the horizontal line. That means our line is going to go left to right. Since we need equal parts, the location that we place this line is in the center, through the center of this geometric figure. When we separate this figure into two parts, we see that we have two matching parts. So this geometric figure has one horizontal line of symmetry. Let's see if this geometric figure has a vertical, which means going up and down, line of symmetry. So we're going to make two parts, and when we separate them, we have two matching parts. So this geometric figure has one vertical line of symmetry. Finally, our last option is a diagonal. We're going to use our letter names to help us figure out where these diagonals are going to go. So first we're going to draw a line from A to D, and that's the vertices. And we see that when we create our two parts, we have two parts, equal parts there, and then we drew a line from B to E, and that's two equal parts as well. So we have another diagonal in between the triangles. That's another set of equal parts. And our fourth diagonal, another set of equal parts. So this geometric figure has four diagonal lines of symmetry. In this lesson, you've learned how to identify line symmetry in a geometric figure by folding the figure into matching parts. What's the difference between a parallel and perpendicular line? In this lesson, you will learn how to draw parallel and perpendicular lines by using their properties. Let's review. A line is a path of points that goes on forever in two directions. Lines are straight. We use arrows at both ends to show us that this line will go on forever. Now we're going to be talking about pairs of lines that are given special names depending on their relationship to each other. We're going to talk about parallel lines first. Parallel lines never intersect, which means to cross, no matter how long we extend the line. These lines are an equal distance apart and go in the same direction. Now when two lines meet, the point where they cross is like an intersection of streets. These lines are called intersecting lines. and they intersect at a point. When we have lines that intersect and form a square corner, we call those lines perpendicular. These square corners would measure 90 degrees. Now, a common misunderstanding is how do we tell the difference between intersecting lines versus perpendicular lines? Now, while all perpendicular lines are intersecting, all intersecting lines are not perpendicular. So the key to determining whether the intersecting line is perpendicular is to look at the point of intersection. If the angles are 90 degrees, which are right angles, then the intersecting lines are perpendicular. You can also see if a square corner is formed. Now, if a square corner is not evident, then we do not have perpendicular lines. These lines are classified as intersecting lines. In this lesson, you've learned how to draw parallel and perpendicular lines by using their properties.
Okay, and here's the part of the homework that you need to actually bring into class tomorrow. Oh, that's okay. It's not very many problems at all. All right, now you're going to write down if the dashed lines over both of these letters are the lines of symmetry. So you would write down a yes or a no. So copy down the letters and the dashed lines right there and right there, and then write down yes, that is the line of symmetry, or no, that is not the line of symmetry. And do the same thing for the letter A and the letter Z. Are those dotted lines the lines of symmetry? Remember to pause it and go back into the tutorials if you're not sure. Alright, now I want you to write down the letter U and the letter T and write down your line of symmetry. Where would you place your line of symmetry on both of these letters? And is this line parallel, intersecting, or perpendicular? And are these lines parallel, intersecting, or perpendicular? And what about these lines? Now, don't forget that lines can be perpendicular and intersecting, but intersecting lines alone may not necessarily be perpendicular. Pause and go back into the tutorial if you need more clarification, or ask me tomorrow. And what about these lines? Parallel, intersecting, or perpendicular? And what do you think these guys are? And last problem, do you think these lines are parallel, intersecting, or perpendicular? And there you have it. There was your homework for tonight. Any problems, make sure to talk to me tomorrow. All right, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.